Brad Pitt's name has long been synonymous with Hollywood allure, his career marked by triumphs on the silver screen, his private life shadowed by the relentless glare of public fascination. Yet beyond the awards, the red carpets, and the magazine covers lies a far more human story. The intricate, often tumultuous journey of a man searching for something as elusive as it is universal, lasting love. Before the world knew his name, before the world swooned at his smoldering gaze in Thelma and Louise, Brad was simply a young actor chasing a dream. In the mid-1980s, he found early romance with British pop singer Anita. She remembered him as beautiful with the most amazing body, a young man full of sweetness and charm. Their fling came and went before fame ever touched him, but even then he left an impression. When she later saw his breakout performance, Anita could only laugh and ask herself, "What have I done?" A brief courtship with actress Jill Schoelen followed, sparked on the set of the teen horror flick Cutting Class. Soon after, voice actress E.G. Daily described him as deep-souled and super cute, an artist with an intensity that hinted he was destined for something bigger. Even then, Brad Pitt seemed to carry within him a restless ambition and a quiet gravity. Hollywood was beginning to notice, and so were the women whose lives he briefly touched. There were rumors of a fleeting connection with Robin Givens at a time when her marriage to boxer Mike Tyson was unraveling, a moment Tyson himself would later recall with his own twist of drama. There was a public but playful pairing with Christina Applegate, which ended when she famously ditched him mid-MTV Awards night for someone else. And then came Juliette Lewis, a young actress whose raw talent matched Brad's own rising star. From 1989 to 1993, theirs was a relationship fueled by creativity and youthful intensity. Even years later, Brad would look back with affection. "I still love the woman," he admitted, calling their time together one of the greatest relationships he'd ever known. But the hard truth he would eventually voice was one many discover the painful way. "We grow up with this vision that love conquers all, and that's just not so, is it?" The 1990s turned Brad Pitt into a household name, and with fame came romances that played out like public theater. When he met Gwyneth Paltrow on the set of *7EN, the chemistry was electric. He called her the love of my life in a Golden Globe speech, and for a time it seemed as though he had found his forever. She would later recall the night he proposed on a balcony in Argentina. How unexpected, how thrilling. But as swiftly as it bloomed, it ended. By 1997, their engagement was over. Years later, Paltrow admitted she was heartbroken, and her father, who adored Brad, was crushed by the split. Still, both would eventually speak of each other with deep respect and the kind of affection that lingers long after romance fades. Then came the love story that defined a generation, Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston. They first met in 1994, just two young actors orbiting the same Hollywood universe. 4 years later, when both found themselves single, sparks finally ignited. Their first date, Jennifer recalled, was easy, effortless, two people laughing like they had known each other forever. By September 1999, they made their red carpet debut at the Emmys, and the following summer, in a Malibu ceremony adorned with 50,000 flowers and $1 million glow of glamour, they were married. To the world, it looked like perfection, television's golden girl and Hollywood's leading man. Together they built not only a life but also a business, Plan B Entertainment, quietly setting the foundation for some of the most acclaimed films of the next 2 decades. Yet beneath the polished surface, quiet questions stirred. In a 2003 interview, when asked if Brad was the love of her life, Jennifer hesitated. "Is he the love of my life? I don't know. I've never been someone who says he's the love of my life. He's certainly a big love in my life." They were words of honesty, not cynicism, but they hinted at the complexities beneath the fairy-tale image. By early 2005, after 7 years together, the couple announced their separation. They insisted the tabloids were wrong. This was not about scandal or betrayal. "This decision is the result of much thoughtful consideration," they said in a joint statement, asking for kindness and privacy. But privacy was the one thing they were never afforded. When photographs of Brad with his Mr. and Mrs. Smith co-star Angelina Jolie emerged soon after, the narrative wrote itself, whether true or not. Jennifer endured the public heartbreak with grace. "It cracks you open in a way," she told Vanity Fair, her voice both wounded and wise. "I'm a human being having a human experience in front of the world." I wish it weren't in front of the world. Brad and Angelina's connection had begun quietly on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, a chemistry Jolie later described as an unexpected partnership. By early 2006, she was pregnant with Brad's child. Their family grew quickly: Shiloh's birth, the adoptions of Zahara and Pax, and later the arrival of twins Knox and Vivienne. Their love story seemed to unfold like a modern epic, complete with humanitarian missions and globe-trotting adventures. In 2014, nearly a decade after their first spark, they married at their French estate, their children's drawings stitched into Jolie's wedding gown. But the same intensity that once drew them together eventually fractured them apart. In 2016, Angelina filed for divorce, citing the health of the family. Rumors of a confrontation on a private plane made headlines. Brad faced investigations but was cleared of wrongdoing. Still, the damage was done. What began with passion and partnership ended with years of legal battles over custody and their shared winery. By 2019, they were declared legally single, but their fight over the vineyard lingered, a symbol of a love story turned bitter. In the years that followed, Brad stepped carefully back into the realm of romance. There were whispers of connections: a friendship with MIT professor Neri Oxman that sparked fascination, a fleeting summer fling with model Nicole Pochorowski, a brief link to Emily Ratajkowski. Yet none of these encounters seemed to define him the way earlier loves had. Then came Ines de Ramon, a jewelry designer whose quiet elegance drew Brad in. By late 2022, they were spotted at a Bono concert and soon after celebrating his 59th birthday together. Friends described Brad as happy, almost boyish again. By 2024, she had moved into his Los Angeles home. At the Venice Film Festival, they walked the red carpet together, Brad, once guarded and private, now visibly at ease beside someone who seemed to lift his spirits. Yet through all these chapters, one name has never fully faded from the public imagination: Jennifer Aniston. Over the years, their paths continued to cross. In 2020, they reunited backstage at the Screen Actors Guild Awards, their warm embrace sending shockwaves across social media. That same year, they playfully acted opposite each other during a live table read of Fast Times at Ridgemont High, their easy chemistry undeniable. Jennifer would later insist they were just friends. "Brad and I are buddies," she said, her tone light but sincere. It is a friendship forged in history, in shared laughter and heartbreak. Years earlier, in the aftermath of their divorce, Jennifer had spoken words that now feel almost prophetic: "I really do hope that someday we can be friends again. I love Brad. I really love him. I will love him for the rest of my life." Time has proved her right. Whatever they were, whatever they might have been, theirs is a bond that has endured the storms of fame and the weight of public scrutiny. Perhaps that is why so many still wonder if Jennifer Aniston was and remains the one great love of Brad Pitt's life. Perhaps that question lingers because in the end it is not simply about celebrity or scandal. It is about the universal yearning for a connection that survives everything: distance, heartbreak, the passing of years. And maybe that is the true story behind Brad Pitt's much scrutinized heart. Not the fleeting romances or the public spectacles, but the quiet, resilient ties that time itself cannot break. What do you think? Was Jennifer Aniston the love that truly defined Brad Pitt's journey? Should they have given their relationship one more chance? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us again for more of Hollywood's most captivating stories.